I didn't start my luxury journey with a bag that I loved. I actually started it with a bag that I returned. So if the Lexus is the first artifact of my Act 2, then this On The Go PM is the first handbag chapter. And it all started in Pasadena, California. It was January 2025, and we were there to watch our boys and the Oregon Ducks play in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. That morning, my family and I were having brunch at the JW Marriott, where the boys' team was staying. Now, at that point in my life, luxury bags were not something that I was even accustomed to. It was kind of like one of those things that, like, I knew they existed, but they belonged to a very specific type of woman, and I definitely was not her, if that makes sense. So they weren't something that I naturally looked at. And then she walked by. She was an older woman, stunning, beautifully put together, and on her arm was a Louis Vuitton bag. And it caught my eye immediately. But the truth is, it wasn't even the bag that caught my attention. It was her. This woman looked so comfortable in her skin. She was confident. She was unbothered. She was a showstopper when she walked in the room. She was the kind of woman, when she entered into a space, she didn't shrink. And something in me responded. Before I even had words for what it was, it captivated my attention. And right then and there, as we were having breakfast, I said to my husband and my sons, I want a bag like that. And they were supportive. My husband was like, do it. No questions, just do it. Less than 2 weeks later, I bought the Louis Vuitton On The Go PM.
Are you kidding me?
She's pretty, isn't she?
So cute.
Now let me tell you how I chose it, because how I chose it tells you everything you need to know about where I was emotionally. Scott,
Yeah.
I like this kind of a band and a little wallet.
God. Yeah, that's nice.
How cute is that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So first of all, I was a novice. This was my very, very first bag. I had no understanding, no real understanding of how to purchase a luxury bag. So here's a list of the things I wasn't thinking about when I was considering the bag that I would choose. I was not considering shape, proportion, lifestyling it, long-term wear. I went onto the website and I tried to find a bag that checked off as many boxes as I could come up with. And it's probably obvious what my thought process was. I thought, this is my one shot to get a luxury bag, so I better make it count. I thought, if I was going to do something this extravagant, this indulgent, this expensive, this selfish, I better make sure that I hit every single box. I had to justify it, right? So the On The Go PM was literally perfect on paper. It had both the light and the dark monogram. It had a little round wallet, and it had the thicker strap, which I call the guitar strap. So during that time, I was very much a crossbody girl, whether I knew it or not. My one bag that I always carried was just one crossbody sack bag. Because of this, I figured that the On The Go PM would be a perfect fit for me. And then when it finally arrived, it didn't take long for me to realize. The first thing, it didn't have a zipper. It only had a clasp. That already wasn't very ideal for me. Then came the big test. I crossbodied it. Now you have to imagine, back then, I was 70 pounds heavier. So when I put it on to crossbody it, it landed right alongside my rib cage, and it was basically touching the underwire of my bra. Not an ideal place for it to land as a crossbody. It just wasn't cute. It really wasn't comfortable for me either. In that moment, I realized something that would later become a huge part of this series. That bag, as beautiful as it wasn't me. So I reached out to Louis Vuitton and I asked if I could return it. And they scheduled me an appointment with a client advisor for a couple days later. So what do you think I did? Packed my kids in the car, packed the bag, and I drove 2 hours to Scottsdale. In the end, the on-the-go PM did not end up being my first luxury bag, but it was still important because it cracked open the possibility that I could have something beautiful, and not because it was necessary or because it was practical, just because I wanted it. So whenever you hear me say, it was never about the bag, what I'm talking about is this. It was never about the on-the-go PM. It was about a woman at the Rose Bowl who walked by me and had no idea what her simple presence unlocked inside of me. And it's not because I wanted to be her, but there was something that she represented that I wanted for myself. Confidence, agency, and permission. The on-the-go PM was my very first attempt at those three things. Failed attempt, sure. So no, the bag itself didn't stay with me, but it awakened something that did stay with me. And that was the beginning of my journey, midlife through the bags.